Okay, every time something like this happens, I think that's it, we've reached peak gender ideology insanity. And then something else pops up like a month later. But this, ladies and gentlemen, has to be one of the biggest leaps towards absolute retardation I've seen in a long time. And it's all done in the name of making an extreme minority of the population feel comfortable and secure, even though what we're about to talk about applies to absolutely no one and never will. So I stumbled across this article on Twitter that talks about an Edinburgh University midwifery, whatever, supplying learning materials to students that covers biological males giving birth through their penises. Yes, that's what I said, I'm not even joking. Giving birth through their penises. So GB News says, university midwife students taught to care for men giving birth through their penis. Edinburgh Napier University has advised students they need to be prepared for both men and women giving birth. Now, when I first saw this, I thought, okay, they're talking about like a chick to dude transgender person giving birth through their artificial penis or something. But it seems the way this stuff was originally written implies the exact opposite. A British university is teaching its midwifery students how to care for males giving birth. Note they said males, not men, so not like woman to man transgender people. Males, biological males. Feminist news website Redux revealed teaching materials from Edinburgh Napier University which state the person giving birth may still have external male genitalia after transitioning. Note the wording there, may still have external male genitalia after transitioning, implying that this is a biological dude transitioning to a chick and they may still have their block and tackle. The skills workbook on categorization informs students the person giving birth may be a male. The workbook also adds a trans person who's transitioned from female to male could give birth through a specially constructed penis. Okay, so that's a separate thing. That's how I initially took it. A female transitioning from woman to man, sure, they can still give birth, but probably not through a specially constructed penis. I mean, imagine that thing. I know blokes who have passed kidney stones or gallstones or whatever they are through their dick. Like they've just got to wait for them to come out naturally and they piss them out. And they're tiny little things and they're in excruciating pain. Imagine trying to pass a baby through your cock. The thing wouldn't look like a cock at all. It'd be like some sort of flesh apron. Elaine Miller, a fellow for the Chartered Society of Physiotherapy, expressed dismay at the contents of the workbook. She told the website it is not possible for a male person to get pregnant. Yeah, no shit. A female with a gender difference can become pregnant, but will not have male genitalia. Yeah, I mean, say there was a chick who sort of transitioned to be a dude and got one of those fake penises. How would they get pregnant? It's like that scene out of The Office where Dwight asks the HR manager all those awkward questions about homosexuality. An Edinburgh Napier University spokesman said it aims to be inclusive for people in the LGBTQ+ communities and will update teaching materials where required. Yeah, but see, this has never happened and never will happen. It cannot happen. I mean, even though those constructed dicks are fake, like they're made out of like an inverted vagina and some flesh off your arm or your leg or whatever, it just can't happen. It cannot happen. Concerned students sent pictures of the report to the website over concerns about its messaging. This comes after a feminist PhD student lost her legal case against a university after claiming she suffered harassment and bullying from trans rights activists. Raquel Rosario Sanchez, 32, sued the University of Bristol, alleging it failed to protect her from activists who targeted her over her involvement with campaign group Women's Place UK. She brought a claim against the university for damages in contract, negligence, and the Equality Act over the way it handled her complaints about being targeted. Now, I have found this original article from the feminist website Redux that includes some of the original material. We'll have a look at that right after this quick sponsor. Give us a minute. If you think today's technology is bad for privacy, virtual reality will be a nightmare. One CEO stated his company alone will spend $10 million towards the new virtual world. However, there's a massive privacy risk. Along with being addictive, virtual reality is perfect for tracking everything a user does, sees, and feels in the virtual world, which will all be used to tailor laser-targeted advertisements towards them. Tech giants will continue to steal as much private information from you that they can. This is why I won't get online without virtual VirtualShield VPN. Otherwise, my private data can be vulnerable to tech companies and hackers. VirtualShield routes my data through encrypted virtual tunnels, which helps ensure no company or person can track me across the internet. I highly recommend VirtualShield. Obviously, they're a long-time sponsor of the channel, and they are just great. VirtualShield are offering 50% off this month, plus a free 30-day trial for all new customers. Just go to hidewithbear.com or click the link below to start your trial today. Okay, so this is where we get into the nuts and bolts of it. So Redux says exclusive, midwifery students taught how to care for males giving birth. Again, males can't give birth, they're males, they don't have uteruses, they don't have wombs, they don't have ovaries, they don't have eggs. For Christ's sake. Students studying midwifery at a prominent university in the United Kingdom were taught that biological males can get pregnant and give birth through their penis before instructors hastily edited a workbook they were given because they realised they fucked up. Redux has exclusively obtained teaching resources from concerned students studying midwifery at Edinburgh Napier University in Scotland. The students, who wished to remain anonymous out of concern for their careers, were initially provided biologically impossible instruction on giving care to males who were pregnant and in labour. In a module about caring for women during childbirth, the students were initially provided a skills workbook on catheterisation that contained significant guidance about handling male genitals and caring for biologically male birthing people. According to the workbook, students were advised it's important to note that while most times the birthing person will have female genitalia, you may be caring for a pregnant or birthing person, what a fucking cringe term, who is transitioning from male to female and may still have external male genitalia. See, this is how you know it wasn't a simple fuck up. They didn't just get the word male and female in the wrong order. They're talking about biological males transitioning to biological females, which can't happen, it's a physical impossibility. And they're talking about this supposedly ex-male still having external male genitalia. God, this is ridiculous. This is just insanity. Let's have a look at this introduction. Welcome to the Catheterization Skills Workbook. I've been saying catheterization. Throughout this learning, we are going to look at the theory of catheterization, including anatomy and physiology of the urinary system, indications for a urinary catheter, and care and maintenance of a urinary catheter. This material is to prepare you for the skills session in week 3. It's important to note that while most times the birthing person will have female genitalia, you may be caring for a pregnant or birthing person who is transitioning from male to female and may still have external male genitalia. No, not if you're a midwife, not if it involves childbirth. You need to be familiar with the catheterization procedure for both male and female anatomy. For this reason, where appropriate, this book refers to the birthing person. Okay, the article goes on. While the introduction of the manual could perhaps be dismissed as a mistake, misprint or uninitiated individual attempting to utilise inclusive language, the university-made workbook clearly moves on to providing students instruction on how to accommodate a pregnant biological male. The book informs students they may need to be familiar with the catheterization procedures for both male and female anatomy, noting that as a result of the fact that both males and females may be giving birth, it'll only utilise the term birthing person throughout the instruction. The workbook reminds students that birthing person may be a biological male in 2 separate sections. And here's yet more evidence that it wasn't just a fuck up, it wasn't just a switcheroo of male and female. In another section, special instructions are provided for the removal of catheters with consideration for prostate glands, with students being instructed to warn male persons of discomfort as the deflated balloon passes through the prostate gland. Okay, if you have a prostate gland, you are a biological male and you are not giving birth. While instruction staff later realised the significant errors made, the hasty edit to the guidebook only corrected the initial wording to the introduction, changing male to female to male. All references to the handling of a penis, prostate gland, and other male biology remained, but it also added the suggestion that female to male transgender persons could give birth through a surgically constructed penis. Again, let's say it's a biological female, right? And they somehow did get pregnant post-op. Imagine the kind of penis that would enable you to give birth through it. Good God, that's a scary image. I mean, it's not even a penis. Like I said, it's like a flesh apron. Despite the seemingly sloppy edit, concerns remain from students and experts about the lack of care given to the manual and instruction. You know what gets me, right, is you can imagine some crazy ideologically bent student thinking this sort of stuff, like someone who's really, really deep down into the ideology. But an instructor? Like someone who's writing an instruction guide, course material, learning material for a midwifery course? That is just bonkers. They're living outside of reality and it is scary. I mean, where do we go to from here? Like I said at the start, it seems to be getting crazier and crazier. And every time something like this happens, I think, that's it, we've reached the peak, it can't get any worse than this. But then it does. I mean, I guess the only way it could get crazier is if some of this stuff was put into practice. Like, are we going to have a future generation of midwives who, to avoid bigotry and discrimination, admit biological males to hospital who say they're in labour, and they go through all the procedures they learnt at this crazy fucking university, only for nothing to happen, obviously. But you've got to go through the motions, otherwise you're a bigot! Anyway, I'm looking forward to your comments. Until next time, I've been Bearing. Thank you very much for watching.
Session! Give me better times, give me better times. Recession!